I mean, well, let's don't wishy-washy about it. Is the NFL scripted or is it not?
Man, I think they got billions of reasons to have an interest in who's there.
Is the NFL scripted? And I'm going to yell it a little louder because I don't think you heard
Okay.
me. Is
Okay.
the NFL scripted or is it not?
Absolutely. There you go.
Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, so you're a flat earther, NFL scripted.
No, I'm
So we're
not.
going all the way that way.
I'm
All
not
the way
getting
with
into all the other
conspiracy theory.
conspiracies, but sometimes when you start labeling yourself sports entertainment and there's billions of dollars on the line, I don't believe there's not some people, blowing some wind in the sail to make the boat move, if that makes sense.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Happy Friday. This is your man, Big B. Welcome to Big B Daily Show, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. What is happening, people? As always, we are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. TikTok, keep tapping the screen. Like I said, we need at least 5,000 likes and 30 new follows. So if you're in, please give us a follow. Click on that YouTube link in my bio. Come on over to YouTube. Subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. Join the chat over there. Join the live. A lot of stuff over there. If you're on YouTube, thank you for coming. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into the show, people. Man, so Caitlyn Clark last night becomes the all-time leading scorer in women's basketball history. I think it's just a matter of time. I think she's gonna get close to passing Pete Maravich this year. If she doesn't do it, she's gonna get real close to passing him this year. She is the absolute truth. So just got to get everything going with Pete Maravich and Caitlyn Clark. If she can pass him, I mean, it's absolutely incredible. You look up some of Pete Maravich's numbers, averaging 44 a game without a 3-point line and a shot clock. That's incredible. But Caitlyn Clark she's just that good. She's that good. Now, look, there's going to be some people that are going to be haters, and on both sides. There's some stuff came out about Cheryl Swoops last week, or Cheryl Swoops said some stuff about Caitlyn Clark last week. She didn't do her homework. Talking about she played an extra year, which Caitlyn Clark has not played that extra year yet. She has an opportunity to, and we'll get into that in just a second. But she has an opportunity to do that. But, Cheryl Swoops was just out of pocket for what she said, and she was. She was just totally out of pocket. Didn't need to do it. If she just wanted to say she didn't think she was going to be as good in the league as she is in college, she can say that. I don't know why you have to say that, what the purpose of that is. I mean, and I get she got asked a question, but just say you think she's great. I can't wait to see what she can do in the WNBA. That's all you have to say. If she's not as good, she's not as good. But then we started getting the old vitriol about Cheryl Swoops is jealous and all that. I'm like, hold the phone. I love Caitlyn Clark. I think she's outstanding, but she's not Cheryl Swoops in any shape, form, or fashion. So just hold the phone. And that's why I hate those kinds of comparisons and stuff like that. But Swoops was out of pocket, but so are the people saying that Swoops is jealous of Clark, because no, she's not. Caitlyn Clark could just dream about being as good as Cheryl Swoops right now. And maybe she will be. Hopefully she will be. Y'all know me. I don't want anybody to be bad. But what she did in the amount of time that she did it, she's the face of college basketball. And I don't mean she's the face of women's college basketball. In my opinion, Caitlyn Clark is the face of college basketball. Name me the male star out there. Just go ahead. Just name me the male star in college basketball right now. So, I mean, no, just name me one now. And I know why there isn't one because of one and done and people leaving. I get all of that. But you just name me the male star. You don't have one. You don't. And there's not going to be as long as guys leave early. You're not going to have a face like that, a face of the NCAA, which is okay. You have programs, you have coaches. That's okay. But give this woman her due. Give her her due. So I think she's great. I think what she's done for basketball has been great. That her talking trash, doing all that feuding, you can't see me. I'm for it. And somebody gave Angel Reese, gave it back to her last year. I'm for that too. I don't like how they got on Angel Reese for doing it, calling her classless. But what's good for the goose got to be good for the gander. So I like it. I like it. Somebody on TikTok says men's basketball overall has been very mediocre this season. No, you're not paying enough attention. No, it hasn't. It's been good. You just don't know the names and they don't have big stars. But college basketball, if you're paying attention, has been very good this year. Very good. It just, again, you just don't think so. And I was a victim of that too because you don't see the big names, the big stars. But it's been good. It's been very good. And we're going to get into that here in a little bit. But yeah, give Caitlyn Clark everything. Give her all the flowers. And I think she should stay another year. She's got that COVID year that she could go and play. I think she should stay another year. And go and put the record so far out of reach that nobody can touch it. Go ahead and do it. So go ahead and do it. I think she should take advantage of it. Number one, monetarily, she's going to make more money with NIL playing in college than she will at the WNBA level. So my man David Gonzalez talking about the men's game, and we'll get into that. There's more parity. Nobody's that dominant. Yeah, and I love it. I love it. So my man Pat Cockrell, what's going on, Pat? Cheryl is still the GOAT. I'm biased. Yeah, you can be biased because you went to Tech, but you're not lying. It'd be one thing if you were lying, Pat, but you're not. You're not. It's okay to be biased when we're telling the truth, man. So with NIL now, she should stay another year. Absolutely, Caitlyn Clark. I think she should stay another year. Unless she just wants to try to go prove herself. Okay. But as far as just monetarily, the amount of money that she could make in college, I think she should stay. Let me ask you all this question. What if she transferred? What if at the end of the year, she just said, you know what? I love Iowa. I love my team, but clearly there are better teams out there. What if she just says, I want to challenge myself by going playing with better competition and better players on my team? What if she does that? Woo! See, now we got people that are butthurt in the chat over on TikTok. She ain't going nowhere. Come on, man. I said, what if she did? Don't be so upset. Man. What if she decided it's not like we haven't seen it. It's not like we haven't seen it. Haley Van Lith left Louisville. She went to 2 Elite Eights and a Final Four. She went to 2 Elite Eights and a Final Four. She was the star, the face of Louisville basketball. And she left and went to LSU. And LSU is a better program than Louisville. Louisville's really good, too. It's not like Louisville's a trash women's program. It's not. It's extremely good. It's a top 10 women's program. And she left to go to LSU. So there's always that hangs out there, people. And you never know what people might do. But my thing is, if she stays in college and she decides, well, I want to go challenge myself with other players, with better players on a better team, maybe get myself ready for the WNBA on a day-to-day basis where I can't just dominate everybody, that the team is not all dependent on me. And if I have a bad game or just a mediocre game, we lose. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. We are talking Caitlyn Clark, my man. So if she decides, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at her if she decided to transfer. I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be mad at her. So would not be upset at all. So my man Bill Carmen said ESPN reported this morning she's already making tens of millions. I don't know if it's that much. I don't know if she's making tens of millions of dollars. But if she is, then you have to stay in college. Because as soon as she leaves, all of that's going away. Rest assured, that's going away. So what's it worth to you? You know, don't we go to college to get a job, to be able to make money? Well, if you could make the kind of money to set yourself up for the rest of your life without even leaving college, hell, if we could all, anybody that went to college, if you could do that, go to college to get a job while you're in college that could set you up for the rest of your life, we all would have done that. So I think we got to keep that in mind. I think she should stay in college if she wants to. If she wants to. If she doesn't want to be challenged at the next level yet, and that doesn't mean she's afraid. That just means, hey, man, I make more money doing this. I make more money in college than I would in the WNBA. I don't have to go overseas. That's another thing that's going to come into play here. If you're Caitlyn Clark, I've made all this money. When she does go to the WNBA, she doesn't even have to go to overseas and play. You know, like a lot of women go overseas to make more money, but she wouldn't have to do that because she made a ton in college. She doesn't have to go overseas. I like that for her. Good for her. Do I think she's the greatest women's player ever? No, I don't. And I think there's some evidence to that. Has she scored the most points? Yeah. I mean, and you can't take that away from her either. But she's not the best to ever play. I mean, there are people like she can't hold a candle to certain people, and that's not a knock on her. Like Shamika Holdsclaw. Do you think that Caitlyn Clark is better than her in college? Absolutely not. Cheryl Swoops, we just brought it up. Diana Taurasi. I mean, heck, Angel McCoughtry. I mean, the list goes on. And these are people that played on teams that were loaded with WNBA players. You know, where her team is not. So there's nothing wrong with just being great while you're in college and being the best. We get too caught up, I think, sometimes in always wanting to compare everybody and thinking, well, if you're not the best ever, you're not that good. Come on, man, give me a break. It's okay for her to just be good. So it's okay for her to just be good, the best player. Heck, 2 years ago, did anybody even think she was the best player in the country? The answer to that is no. Everybody thought Paige Beckers was better than her. Paige Beckers was the player of the year until she blew her knee out. So that's the whole thing about it, is that nobody even thought she was the best player just 2 years ago. So it's okay for her to be the best player now. It's okay. And it doesn't mean that people, if you don't think she's the greatest ever, that you mean she's trash. It doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that at all. So, David Gonzalez over on on YouTube. If y'all aren't on YouTube, TikTok, you're missing out. He says she'll be out here playing for Greater Tuscaloosa Community College for the next 30 years just to keep her endorsements. My man, David. My man David. Unbelievable. That's funny. But yeah, I think she's great. Don't take anything away from her. My man over here, X Capone on TikTok, says she is great. I'll give her that. But her career still has a ways to go to be totally proven. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. She can be totally proven. I mean, what else does she have to prove? She doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. But that doesn't mean she's the best. So keep that in mind. Yeah, keep that in mind. She doesn't have to prove anything. She's just not, and she can't get there for me. You know, she's just not better than those other people. She's just not. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay for her not to be. And for people to knock her for that, I think is weird. I think is weird. We're going to move on, though. As always, man, just remember the Big B Daily Show is live at 9 a.m. Central Time. We are live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. Keep tapping the screen if you're on TikTok. We need at least 5,000 likes and 30 new follows. If you're not following, please do so. If you're not subscribed and you're watching over on YouTube, please subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. Same for you over on TikTok. Click on the link in my bio after you give me a follow and subscribe to Big B Sports Talk over there. You get podcast interviews. We just started up a new thing, Big BSPN. You'll like those takes that you do not get on TikTok. So come on over and check it out. All right, moving on, man. The NBA All-Star Weekend is this weekend. And I will be honest with you, I didn't realize it. I'll be flat out honest. I did not realize that All-Star Weekend was this weekend. The NBA, look, I like the NBA. It's obviously the best brand of basketball that's out there, but it's lost its luster, man. And not only that, All-Star Weekend doesn't mean what it used to mean for me. You know, they never played as hard as they possibly could, but at least games were a lot more competitive than what they've turned into. Now the games, the first three quarters are just, can I get an alley-oop dunk or can I make a shot from half court? That's all that it is. So, you know, and like I said, I like the NBA, but this All-Star Weekend has lost its luster. I think one of the things is like the dunk contest. I know a lot of people love the dunk contest, but for me, I lost interest about 10 years ago. I'm like, what else can you do? Or I lost luster when Aaron Gordon didn't beat Zach LaVine, even though that was a great one. I'm like, well, hell, what's he got to do to win? But now it's just, I don't know. I mean, like Matt McClure won it. What was that, 2 years ago? He won the dunk contest. He wasn't even in the NBA. He's got anybody out there doing it. And if that's what they want to do, maybe that's more exciting. Just get anybody out there to give us exciting dunks versus guys in the NBA. But the All-Star Weekend, I like the skills competition and the three-point competition, but like the celebrity game is tonight. I'll watch. I'll pay attention. It may not be my most favorite thing, but I'll pay attention. So, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I just haven't paid that much attention to the NBA. I do like, somebody asked over on TikTok, do you see what the Cavs are doing? Yeah, I've watched. Cavs are playing great basketball. Outstanding basketball right now. Can't take that away from them. Outstanding basketball. The Knicks were playing outstanding ball. They kind of hit a little bit of a slide here, but they got some injuries. They got to get healthy. Knicks got to get healthy. And everybody loved that trade that they made, Bogdanovich and picking up Alec Burks, but I'm like, those guys can't guard anybody. That's not what Thibodeau loves. That's not what they needed. They needed some extra guys that could guard, and they didn't get that. So we'll see, man. We'll see. So somebody is talking about, but All-Star games are a joke, says my man Pat Cockrell. They don't mean anything. They mean something to the fans. And that's what all-star games are for the fans. So they mean something to the fans. Can't say, I mean, I know it doesn't matter in standings and stuff like that, but the all-star game can still be fun. It can be that. But guys don't play. So it is what it is. So it is what it is. I'll be interested to see how the game goes this year. Supposedly they're trying to make it a little bit more competitive, and they've told them they need to make it more competitive. We'll see. Because, again, if it's just an alley-oop fest and a half-court shot fest, I'll be turning that thing off within the first 5 minutes. I can't watch it. Won't watch it. Will not watch it. Ex Capone said it's NBA Comedy Hour. Is McClung going to defend his slam dunk title? I sure hope not. So, I sure hope not. But we'll see, man. We will see. We need more competitive basketball is what we need. We need more competitive basketball. If we can get that, I think people will re-engage. If we can't get that, then we won't. And speaking of competitive basketball, that brings us to our next topic, NCAA basketball. Now, you talk about competition and you talk about parity that anybody can win. That has described the NCAA as far as basketball the last 4 to 5 years. And it is no wonder that this year is even more competitive. It's even more of a toss-up. And I love it. The Big 12 is clearly the best conference, head and shoulders better than everybody else. But what's weird is I don't know that the Big 12 has a team that can actually win the title. You know what I mean? It's like the Big 12 is clearly the best conference. Clearly the best. But I don't know who you would say can win it. It's not Kansas. I know that's the first thought on everybody's mind is, oh, Kansas. Nah, not Kansas. So they wouldn't be the team. Iowa State is playing really good. Here's the problem with Iowa State and Houston is I got a bad feeling that they're going to run into the NCAA tournament and get an officiating crew that's not going to let them play physical. And boom, boom, there you go. They're in foul trouble, and they don't shoot it great, neither one of them, and then they're out. They get beaten around to 32. That would be a nightmare scenario for the Big 12, and definitely for both those teams. So I'm not sure. Like I said, the Big 12 is by far the best conference, but they don't have a team that you can just point to and say, yeah, they're a national title contender. Like in the Big East, you can point to UConn and say they're a national title contender. You know, there's teams that you can point to. Who knows? It's like a Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't guard people. They can score with the best of them, but they don't guard. But they're extremely talented. But it's like, do you think that's a team that can win it? They could. So I don't know. That's why I love college basketball. I love college basketball, and exactly the way that it is anybody can win it. That's why I love college football. Don't get me wrong. But I've told y'all before, and I'll tell you again, the order of my sports are NFL, college basketball, college football, NBA. In that order. Because college basketball, anybody can win. March Madness, to me, is the second best playoff, and it is neck and neck with the NFL as far as postseason play. It is neck and neck. Neck and neck with it. March Madness is so fun. Man. But that is where the issue comes in. With as far as is football, college football, when you compare the two. And that's what I meant by that's where the issue comes in. There's only about 5 teams that every year that can win a national title in football. Maybe 5. Usually it's 3. Well, that's no fun. It's always the same people every year. Every year. And basketball is not that way. And you better bring your A game, because if you don't, you'll get beat and you'll be out. You better bring your A game every night in the tournament, because if you do not and somebody gets hot, they will beat you. How many times have we seen upsets? That's why we love March Madness. Upsets. We love it. And yes, Capone, it's always the bigger recruiting. It's Alabama, it's Georgia, it's Ohio State, it's Michigan, it's Clemson, it's Texas. Same teams every year. Ohio State. Oh, my God. Can we get a Louisville? Can we get them in it? You know, I know we got Washington this year. Can we get a UCLA? Can we get even a Penn State? Something different. You know, every now and then we get LSU. I don't see LSU doing anything while Brian Kelly is there. That's a different conversation for a different day. But yeah, man, that's why, man, I used to go, Scott, over on TikTok. We went every year to Vegas for the first weekend of March Madness. Every single year for like 15 years in a row. Me and the boys, the fellas, we'd head out to Vegas. We'd get out there, and on Thursday, either we went Wednesday night, but usually we just flew out real early on Thursday morning and would land and get to the sports book right before the first game started. We'd already be about 5 drinks in on the flight out there, and we just had a great time. Great time. I'm getting a little older now. I don't know that I can do that all weekend. I would like to try. I would definitely try. But, you know, that's the thing, man. It's just having some fun. That going to Vegas for March Madness is incredible. And the first weekend is better. The championship, not enough going on. I went one year for the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 rounds. Not enough going on. Not enough games. Nope. Got to go the first weekend. That's the best weekend. So, got to go the first weekend. But yeah, college basketball, we'll see. And my man Pat Cockrell, I do not believe in Purdue. They're overrated. I don't believe in Purdue until the tournament comes around and I see them be able to beat a team that's got athletic wings. Every year in the tournament, that is what beats them. Athletic wings that they can't guard. They can't keep them in front of them, and they end up getting beat. Just like last year. You lose to Fairleigh Dickinson, all because they had some athletic guys that you couldn't guard, and you got beat. Same thing happened the year before. Losing to St. Peter. Come on, people. So, Pat Cockrell says, a Vegas takeover with the Goon Squad incoming Big B. What do y'all think now? Do y'all think? Not this year. It's bad planning for this year. It's middle of February, almost late February. Not enough time. But next year, if we planned the Goon Squad vacation, the first weekend of the NCAA tournament next year in Vegas, I think that's something that we got to put on the table, people. I definitely think that's something we got to put on the table. Compliments of my man on YouTube, Pat Cockrell. I think we got to get that on the table. The Goon Squad vacation. Big B's Goon Squad vacation. First weekend in Vegas. I think that's something that we got to talk about. I think that's something we got to talk about. I think we do. I think we do. Yeah, I can't wait for the NCAA tournament, man. And even though my team, which is Louisville, I got 2 teams. I love Louisville, grew up there, been a diehard fan my whole life. They suck. They're not anywhere close to it. Kansas State, where I went and played football, They're not going to make the tournament either. But I still can't wait for the tournament. I cannot wait for the tournament. And depending on what's going on, that first weekend, I may start streaming some games and us having some fun. We'll see how that goes. YouTube TV is going to be everything for this NCAA tournament. Oh, my God. With the quad view, my head might explode, people. With the quad view, it'll be like we're at the sports book. With the quad view and YouTube TV with that and the NCAA tournament, my head might explode. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So we'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. If we can make it happen, we'll make it happen, people. If we can make it happen, we will make it happen. Can't wait for the tournament. Got the open mic session coming up. We'll answer your questions. Just as a quick reminder, again, Big B Daily Show, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time, live here on YouTube and TikTok. TikTok, keep tapping the screen. We're almost to the 5,000 or the 5,000 like goal. Need more follows. So if you're in here and not following, please give us a follow. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Also, on YouTube, on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 Eastern. What would that be? 6 Pacific. Go to YouTube, instant replay. Podcast I do with one of my buddies from college. You get a ton of sports, you get a ton of pop culture, and you get a ton of laughs. I've known my man CC for 25 years. You all go check that out. It is hilarious. We have a good time. We don't agree on anything, which makes it even more fun. So just as a reminder, 8 p.m. on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Central Time on Tuesdays on YouTube. Go subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. So, all right. Let's see. What do we got here? Yeah, Capone, it is a good debate, man. It is a good debate, and we're basically laughing the whole time. We interact with the comments a ton over there, just like I do here. We interact with the comments a ton. So, what is the Spurs' problem? They're just not very good. They don't have that many good players. It's not anything that the Spurs are doing per se. They just don't have that many good players yet. That's all. I don't think anything's wrong with them. Who do you think's winning the whole tournament? Man, it's hard to say right now. You know how the tournament is. The tournament's about matchups. So first of all, we got to see who all gets in. That's clearly yet to be decided. And then we got to see the matchups. Give me the matchups first. So, because somebody could have an easy draw to the Final Four, somebody that we like, they could have a tough draw. So, got to see those brackets before you can make any of those predictions. Right now, it's way too tough. And especially in a year where there's not just this dominant team, you know what I mean? If there was a dominant team, you know, like a Kentucky team of the past or a North Carolina or a Duke of the past, then it was easier. Or a Kansas. You could say, okay, those guys are going to win. They got the most talent. Their coaching is outstanding. They're going to win. But you can't say that now. There's not a dominant team. I know people get upset about that because guys are one and done, so they don't stick around long enough. But me personally, I don't mind it. Because I root for players that play on my team. I've embraced the transfer portal. I've embraced one and done players. I've embraced all of that. And I understand it's here. It's not going anywhere. I love my team. It is what it is. Root for your team. Because if you start liking players, that guy or gal could be on somebody else's team next year. Just root for your team. That's how I love NFL football. I just root for the Steelers. Free agency guys are hit or miss. I want you to play good when you're on my team. The moment you leave, I don't care. I do not care. Football, sports is different. Rooting for sports is different now than what it was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, we loved players. But that was because players didn't change teams. Players didn't change teams. They got on a team and they stayed. With free agency, people can go all over the place. So it's like NBA, guys move all the time. So you got to like guys, you got to like players in the NBA. It's different now. So let's see. If play for New Mexico or something, I'd go to Duke. I mean, maybe if you could get into Duke. Should the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin? It's too late in the season or too late in the game to do that now. I thought they could have moved on from him right after the season, but you can't move on from him now. So no. And again, it's not that I don't think Mike Tomlin can coach. I just think Mike Tomlin's philosophy, you can't win like that anymore. You can't win playing average to below average offense, excellent defense, be solid in the special teams, and try to win a Super Bowl 17-14. You can't do that. That's just not the way it works. I'm not saying you can't have excellent defense. All I'm saying is you can't, because the teams this year had excellent defenses that were in the Super Bowl. But they also scored some points. But you can't just do that. It's few and far between that you're going to hold a team to 14 points and be able to win in the National Football League now. Offenses are too complex. The rules are too offensive centric. So, and hope you're right. Tomlin understands his job's on the line. Hey, they didn't sign him to an extension yet, and maybe they probably will in the offseason, but if it's a 1-year extension, you'll know that the Rooneys mean business. And I'm hoping it's just a 1-year extension. Give him an extra year on your contract so you're not a lame duck coach, and let's figure it out. But you know what? I also like the approach that Jerry Jones takes. Jerry Jones won't up you. He won't give you a new deal. He'll make you play it out like he's making Mike McCarthy play out his contract. I don't necessarily disagree with that approach and say, hey, man, you got to prove it. So let's see you, Capone. We appreciate you being in here today. Yeah, I like the approach. Now, there's a lot of things I don't like about Jerry Jones and how he does things as far as his football team. But as far as making his his coach prove it every year and doesn't give him a new contract until he proves it, I don't dislike that. So I don't dislike it at all. What do I think on them Lions? I like the Lions. I think the Lions got sabotaged by their coach in the NFC Championship game, that they should have been in the Super Bowl had the coach not gotten in the way. But I like them. If they can sign a couple more guys, have another good draft. I mean, I know they're going to keep St. Brown. I don't think they should pay him $25 million a year. I don't think you should do that. I think they still have other holes. They still have defensive holes, but you got to keep St. Brown. You got to convince Jared Goff not to take $50 million a year and say, hey, we want you. We like you. We need you. But you got to do it at 38. You got to do it at 39. Maybe 40. But you can't do it at 50. 55. I'm really interested to see what the Cowboys do with Dak Prescott. If I'm Jerry Jones, I restructure his deal and say, look, we're going to give you a 2-year deal. We're going to give you $30 million. We'll guarantee you this $60 million, but it's going to be over 2 years, and that's it. And maybe Dak takes it, and maybe he don't. Dak is not so bad. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. Dak had a good year this year. But I'm not paying Dak $60 million a year. I am not paying that man $60 million a year. Now, I'll be the first to say that Dak had a good year. I'm not saying he's the greatest quarterback, but he's not awful. But I don't care how good a year he had this year. The guy that gets $60 million got to be able to get me at least to a championship game. Dak hadn't done that. So no, you don't get $60 million a year, Dak. Not a chance, no way, no how. Not a chance. And if I'm Jerry, I structure the deal. Okay, we'll get him for 1 year. We'll give him 2 years, maybe 3, but we can get out of it after 1 if we need to. And that's it. Or you trade Dak and you start over. So maybe that's an avenue that the Cowboys can go down. Trade Dak Prescott and start completely over. I don't know where you'd go. I know people keep saying Trey Lance. Hey, come on, man. We don't even know if Trey Lance can play. We don't know. I'm not saying he can't, but you know Dak can play. Is Dak the best quarterback in the league? No. But you do know that he can play football. You do know he can be successful in the NFL. You don't even know if Trey Lance can be successful. You willing to take your chance on that? I wouldn't. Not when one franchise that moved up all those picks to draft him got rid of him. And then he couldn't beat out a cast off from another 2 franchises, Sam Darnold. That's not who I would just be bending over backwards to hand the keys to my offense over as a franchise. I wouldn't be doing that. Somebody says Fields or Kirk. I'm assuming you mean to Pittsburgh. You know, I'm starting to come around on Justin Fields. And as far as Kirk Cousins, I would need a long-term commitment from Cousins, at least 5 years. And I know he's 36. I don't know if we get that 5-year commitment, but I would need a commitment from him. So, and Kirk was better than Fields before he got hurt. But we saw Kirk dancing at the NFL Awards show. It looks like he's back, or at least he's going to be on his way back. I mean, we saw it. So we'll see. We'll see. Appreciate it, man. We're trying here. If you're not following, give us a follow. Again, Big B Daily Show, 9 a.m. Central Time, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. We appreciate everybody's support. My man Wakan has come in over on YouTube. Dallas coaches need to teach Parsons not to disappear during the run defense. Yeah. You know, and Micah Parsons is a great football player. Let's not kid ourselves. We love Micah Parsons. But Micah Parsons, number one, in the big moments in the big game and anytime in the run game when they run at him, he turns into David Copperfield or Houdini. He's just an illusion. He's not really there. So it's crazy. Gotta be better. Gotta be better. Oh, and by the way, somebody asked me, did I give up on Pickens and Rudolph? Yes, Scott Smith. I gave up on Baby Hands. I am done with Baby Hands Pickett. So, done. Micah Parsons is Jason Taylor 2.0. All you do is run at him. Yeah. I love Parsons. He got to be better against the run. It just simple, plain, got to be better against the run. Can't be trying to run around blocks. It doesn't work that way in the NFL. Got to be better. So, who hasn't had a full year? Baby Hands? So what? I've seen enough. I've seen enough to know that I don't want to see it anymore. I've seen enough of Baby Hands to know that I don't want to see anymore. Do you think Brock Purdy is the answer for the 49ers? Yeah. I mean, wasn't he? I mean, I think Brock answered all those questions, didn't he? I mean, let's see. He had an outstanding year, led his team to the Super Bowl, played well in the Super Bowl. I mean, what else are you wanting? So you're saying that Brock Purdy didn't have a good year? Did you watch any football? Did you watch NFL football this year? Did you watch the 49ers? He played well, but not great. Define great. Because if the only person that played great was Patrick Mahomes, let me remind you, Brock Purdy had a better year than Patrick Mahomes in a regular season. So, and I'm one of the biggest Brock Purdy haters out there. I bashed him all season long. Bashed him all season long. But don't tell me that Brock Purdy didn't have a great season. You're not being serious, or you're just hating because his team beat yours. So don't tell me he didn't play great. Because he did. And great means you win the game. So only one player played great all year. Got it. Nobody else played great. Got it. That's wild. He had a great season, but he didn't play great in the big game. Brock Purdy played well in the big game. I didn't say he played great. He didn't play outstanding. Like he wasn't the reason that they got beat, number one. He made enough plays for them to win. Did he make the play at the end? No. But it really wasn't his fault. You got guys running free that guys just didn't block. But 2 plays before that, on a third down, he eluded Chris Jones and made a play. To say Brock Purdy didn't play good in the Super Bowl is insane. He did. He absolutely did. Wasn't great on third down, I'll give you that. So, but he played good. And again, that should have been able to been enough for them to win. So, yeah, no, he didn't play good enough on third down. I'll give you that. He was 3 for 12. Now, some of that could have been he was in some bad situations, but good, bad situations or not, sometimes you got to make a play. But also, if you go back and you look at the game, who was he supposed to throw to? Like, Ayuk was being blanketed. Was Kittle even out there? Did George Kittle even play in the Super Bowl? And Deebo Samuels, they went to him 10 times. He was covered. He dropped a couple of passes. So who's he supposed to throw to? Purdy was okay. Like I said, and he was better than okay. He was good in the Super Bowl. He was good. But sometimes the guy across from you is just better. No harm in that. Yeah, Kittle, 2 catches, was invisible. Was literally invisible. So Deebo had 3 on 10 targets. 3 passes hit him in the hands that he dropped. That's not Purdy's fault. So I get what you're saying, though. I get it. I do. I get it. But we got to lay off Purdy. Look, if I can lay off Purdy, everybody can lay off Purdy. Like I said, I've been the biggest Purdy hater on TikTok, on YouTube, anywhere. I bashed him as much as anybody. Said he couldn't get it done in the clutch. Couldn't play well when he had to come back when they were down with some real game pressure. And lo and behold, the man proved me wrong. So what am I supposed to do? I appreciate it, Scott. Be back on Monday, man. Thanks for coming in. So, our defense played prevent defense on critical downs is how we lost. Nah, the 49ers weren't playing prevent. They weren't playing prevent defense. Stop that. I know where everybody's trying to blame Steve Wilks. I'm not going to let anybody do that. I'm not going to let you do that. Steve Wilks did his job. Don't tell me Steve Wilks didn't do his job. The man held Patrick Mahomes to 1 touchdown in 4 quarters. Not to mention the touchdown came from, 8 yards out because a punt hit the back of somebody's foot that gave the Chiefs the ball. So it's not like the Chiefs just drove all the way down the field and scored. That's not what happened. Come on now. Everybody trying to blame Steve Wilks, including Kyle Shanahan. People are nuts. Steve Wilks didn't cost you that game. Maybe Kyle Shanahan got out of his game plan and stopped running the football. Maybe that cost you the game. Did anybody think of that? You know, Big 12 basketball. Yeah, man. Big 12 is the best conference this year. Best conference head to toe. Really good this year. Minimum 9 teams are getting in the tournament from the Big 12. Maybe 10, but more than likely it'll be 9. More than likely it'll be 9. So, can't wait for the tournament to start. Cannot wait. My man Pat Cockrell, Brock Purdy didn't lose the 49ers the Super Bowl. Their coach did. The Purdy slander has got to stop. Yeah. If I can stop slandering Purdy, everybody can. Everybody can. 9 teams is crazy. Well, it might be crazy, but that's what's happening. So, Cincy's going to be right there. Cincy is going to be right there. But here's the thing about Cincinnati. Even though their schedule gets a little bit lighter, they still have opportunities here. If they win a few more games, just based on the schedule, they can make it. Now, I think they got to go on a little bit of a run, but yeah, they can make it. So I like it. I absolutely like what they can do. I like that the 49ers, or not the 49ers, but I like Cincinnati. Well, basically, it's going to come down. It'll be Houston, Kansas, Iowa State. Hell, I can't even remember everybody. What did I say? Houston, Kansas, Iowa State, Oklahoma will make it. BYU will make it. TCU will make it. Texas Tech will make it. I think Cincinnati will be a team that makes it. Baylor will make it. So then it comes down to, okay, does Texas make it? Does Kansas State run off enough games here at the end of the season? Can they make it? UCF has an opportunity with some of the wins that they got. They keep winning. They can make it. So we'll see. We will see. Appreciate the gift, Gritty. And thanks for the follow, by the way. We're going to shut this one down for the day, people. So I appreciate everybody showing up. Thank you guys for jumping in. Again, Monday through Friday, Big B Sports Talk, 9 a.m. or Big B Daily Show, I'm sorry, at 9 a.m. Central Time, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. If you're not following on TikTok, please give us a follow. We appreciate it. And again, click that YouTube link and come and join the show over on YouTube, man. We appreciate that. Subscribe to Big B Sports Talk over there. Anything that you guys want to talk about next week, just let me know in the chat. You can always send emails to Big B Sports Talk 44 at gmail.com. That's Big B Sports Talk 44 at gmail.com. We'll keep going. We love it. Had a great week this week. Great topics. Caitlyn Clark doing her thing. Big 12 and just NCAA basketball at best. It's all-star weekend for the NBA. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. I'll give it a little bit of a chance. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But other than that, people, we appreciate you guys. Thank you. We'll come back. We'll see you on Monday. Aloha.